Live from Coaches versus Cancer, Albany Capital Center, year number 20 for this event in the Capital Region. Specifically, more than $3 million raised in those 20 years, bringing Siena and UAlbany together. I wore the very school-neutral yellow.
Oh, right, because both of them.
Thank you.
Got it.
And it is also Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. So tonight's event here at the Capital Center for Coaches versus Cancer centered around pediatric cancer specifically. But we'll hope to talk to some of the coaches as they come through here before the actual event. And anybody else we can just kind of pull, we will.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot to do on the show when it comes to football. The Jaxson Dart era is starting.
It is underway.
With the Giants. We've got our football picks. There's big college football news. Somebody in college football called Fran Brown the hottest coach going right now. You know what that means?
He'll be gone after next year. This year.
This year. Yep, probably. But
we'll see. Without Steve Angeli.
We will wait and see. There's no doubt about it. He's done a great job so far. All right, let's get going here on Honorado and Miller.
This is Honorado and Miller, sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Alpenhaus, Marcella's Novice Performance Industrial here on Honorado and Miller. Jerry McNamara and Dwayne Killings will host this event here, Coaches versus Cancer. But as I said on the news Thursday morning, their wives do the work. Let's face it.
Well, event planning.
That's right.
My guess is those guys don't have a lot of time.
Exactly.
Energy, bandwidth to put together an event like this. And there are a lot of other people, American Cancer Society that does a ton of lifting for this event.
Correct. Yale head coach James Jones is the featured guest here.
UAlbany grad.
This year, exactly. Yep. He's taken the Bulldogs to the NCAA tournament before. I would say good chance we get an opportunity to speak with Coach Jones before that happens. Freddie Coleman in the past has always been the MC. And because it's 20 years, we will look back on the recipients of the Marianne Raymond Donnelly Fighting Spirit Award, which has gone to, in many cases, a young person fighting cancer. So we've got that ahead here on Honorado and Miller. And here is Coach Jones.
All right, we're live.
Let's are live.
Coach Jones.
Come on over and sit next to us if you would, sir.
We'll slide this way for you.
Easy.
Take care.
This is the podcast world. It's as unpolished as it gets.
Okay, here we go.
The Yale head coach, the UAlbany grad, back home, because we like to claim you as one of ours. Thanks for being here as part of this event tonight. What does it mean to be the featured guest for Coaches versus Cancer?
Well, it's extremely humbling to be part of it. And, I have such a great affinity for Coaches versus Cancer and the American Cancer Society for the work that's being done and to try to give hope to people that may be a little hopeless. And all the money's raised for cancer research is outstanding and amazing. And I'm just happy to be part of it and lend a helping hand.
Coach, we saw this. This has kind of been a movement started. I know Jimmy V is kind of the person that everyone points to, but to see how this is taken just on a life of its own. And this event specifically 20 years, but you see coaches on the sideline in sneakers all the time, different movements at the collegiate level. How proud are you to be a part of a sport that has so embraced something like this?
Well, you can be very proud of it, right? Because, it's guys coming together. I was just down there with the head coach at Siena and the head coach at UAlbany, and they're mortal enemies as far as I remember back in my days.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you can share and spend some time with your wives together for one cause. Yeah. And they got rowing in the same direction. And that's really special that we can do that together and have coaches from all over the country lend a helping hand. It's really important. And it's also makes you feel good about your job and what you do.
What do you remember about your time here in the Capital Region and maybe what makes this a special community where I can say over 20 years, more than $3 million has been raised. And of course, it gets bigger every single year, more than $400,000 alone this year will be raised through this event.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. And this is, it's a very special place for me. I went to college here. I spent about 6 or 7 years working after that in the Albany area. So Albany is home for me in a lot of ways. My brothers still make fun of me because they call it Albanese for whatever reason. They came up with a new name for the city. But it's really special. And actually, when I was getting ready, I saw Roger Ryland on TV,
Sure.
and he was talking about this event. And there's Oswald Cabrera is in town. They're raising money for something, and he's over at some pickleball event. So this area is really pretty cool, and you forget about how special it is sometimes with the people. I got a lot of friends coming tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
You bleed a little bit of purple.
Mm-hmm.
Any smack talking going on down there with Coach G-Mac and Coach Killings?
No, we don't talk any smack. We're going to actually play Albany this year. We used to play one of the two of them, and I'm going to egg them a little bit. They don't want to play us anymore, but we're going to try to get them back on the schedule because I could come up to Albany every other year.
Well, you're winning too much, man.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like I like it that way,
Yeah.
but it's hard to get those games. But coming up I-90 to get here and to play these guys are great. And just to come back to Albany and spend time here is absolutely wonderful.
Of course, August Mahoney is one of the names
our
that
guys,
we remember
yeah.
most,
Yeah.
the Albany Academy guy who had a really nice career with you at Yale. How in any way, Coach, has the portal or NIL made recruiting specifically to an Ivy League school easier or more difficult?
Well, it certainly hasn't made it easier.
Okay, then.
And I don't know how much more difficult it is, but so I'll explain it this way. Over the years, there were probably about 8 kids a year that would come into in the Ivy League that could impact winning. I mean, really good players, about 8 a year.
Okay.
Now that number is probably down to about 4, and I got to get them all because of NIL, like some kids that would have come to Yale, but it's too much to pass up the monies that they were receiving, and also the problem of the money they would have to pay to go to Yale.
Right.
So that's a huge issue for us. But come hook or come crook, we're going to find a way to be successful, and we will.
Yeah, I mean, for people who don't know, no scholarships offered at least athletic scholarships offered at an Ivy League school. Yeah.
But the beauty of that is you're bringing not only good kids, but you're bringing, I don't want to say students first, but yes, students first, particularly at the Ivy level.
Yeah, we like to think we do it the right way. The guys who graduate from Yale, listen to me. If I had a crystal ball and I can go back in time and look at myself and talk to the 18-year, actually it would have had to happen before that because I was not a good enough student to go to Yale. Would actually done some homework when I was in 6th grade. If I can go back to that 6th grade kid and tell him what my life could be like had I gone to Yale, I would have worked harder on and off the court to be really special because I've seen the lives of my alums that are my age right now. And it's absolutely outstanding of what they do. Now, I love my job. I think that I was made to be a basketball coach. I think I found my calling, but the lives of some of these guys' leads are nothing short of amazing.
Is that when you knew you were really good at basketball, 6th grade?
No, I'm not talking about how good a basketball player I was. I was not that good. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you because everybody has revisionist history about their abilities to play. I was a good player. I was tough. I worked hard, but not as hard as I needed to be as special as I wanted to be. I told myself all the things I had to do to be special, but I wasn't tough enough to do them. And that's why I'm a basketball coach, to help motivate young men to do what I couldn't do.
Coach, when you took the job at Yale, did you think way back when that you would still be there right now? Or was it kind of like, I'm going to go there and I'm going to go somewhere else? Obviously something special though.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is what one of my favorite lines. I never anticipate any pain. I don't think about things that aren't pertinent to the moment. So I've always been in the moment. So I haven't thought about where I was going to be. But if you would have asked me, hey, James, you're going to be at Yale for 27 years. When I first started, I would have thought you were crazy. You must be out of your mind. 27 years, I'm going to be 61. I'm going to still be. No, I wouldn't have thought about that. But it's been the right place for me. I've enjoyed every second. The people that I've come through and come across that I've coached and been around, it's nothing short of amazing.
Coaches to stick around more than 2 decades anywhere, forget about it, even at the high school level. I need this suit, man. That thing is sharp. We'll let you go enjoy your evening.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us,
Coach James Jones with us here on Honorado and Miller, ahead of Coaches versus Cancer here tonight at the Albany Capitol Center. More people coming up through here. Jerry McNamara, Freddie Coleman is here this evening as well. DK, Dwayne Killings, Jim Hart is part of the program here this evening as well. Let's take a quick time out here on Honorado and Miller. We're back in a minute.
Imagine coming home after a long day and slipping into your own personal hot tub from Wellness Spas. Let the stress of the day melt away as you soak in the therapeutic benefits of the water. Our team at Alpenhaus wants to help you relax and enjoy the advantages of owning your very own hot tub. Now offering a whole new lineup from Wellness Spas, featuring models from their City Life and Peak Life lines. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs. Visit us at Clifton Park Center and Route 30 in Amsterdam.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on. For cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair, you can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Honorado and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, joined by the head coach at Siena University now.
So I can't. It's
right?
really hard.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me.
It's just Siena, the way we talk
Yeah.
in the sports world. Anyway, Jerry McNamara, of course, needs no introduction to our audience on Honorado and Miller.
Look at this thing.
Yeah.
So there's
Not quite sure what
there's
it's
something
for, but-
really cool
Yeah.
that's going to happen
Show it
tonight
off, Coach.
with these Taylor Swift-like
yeah.
bracelets.
Okay.
Although they do it at a lot of concerts
Yeah, now. Yeah.
Year 2 for you, Coaches versus Cancer, as a head coach. I hesitate to ask, how does this compare to the Syracuse area? But what makes CVC special in any community?
Well, I to be honest with you, I think you could compare the two areas a little bit. I think one of the things that made what Jim and Julie Boeheim did so special in that area was the support. He would say it over and over about how many people would continuously support the effort. And the first time I was here years ago, I mean, it was obvious. As soon as you come up this escalator, this community is no different. You know, I think it speaks volumes of the people around here, and they're top notch. I think people around the country that are trying to do something along this line, they come out to see what these events look like, so they try to duplicate it. This is as high level as you get.
Coach, I think a lot of times you'll hear people who maybe haven't experienced the capital region say Smallbany because it's a smaller capital city, I guess. But I think that makes it kind of unique in a way. And how quickly have you kind of experienced that? Like, yeah, okay, it's the capital city of New York, but it still feels small town, but in the best way.
Well, as my wife just went up the escalator.
Okay, I was just going to ask, what was the work split
Yeah.
on putting this event together?
It applies. You know, we're both from that type of area. We're both from Scranton, PA, and I've heard it referred to as Smallbany around here.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like a small knit community, even though it's a bigger city. Everybody kind of overlaps, and you get, you know, I can't even tell you how many people that I'm going to know more tonight than I did last year. For that reason, you know, you're running into a lot of familiar faces, and I think it goes back to what we just talked about. You're running into a lot of people that are supporting the same causes, and supporting the same things, whether they be at a UAlbany game or Siena fan. I love that. I love that where you have that's what we're from. You know, it's what we're used to. And we have a great parish community in terms of where we go to church, and that's what we know. And it's important to us. And this area has been terrific.
When we had you in studio last week with DK, I don't know your background together, but he won. I think he sandbagged DK pretty good. You guys seem to have a friendly relationship. Forget good relationship, a friendly one. Did you cross each other on the recruiting trails? Is that how you got to know him before you came here?
Yeah, you know, he was at Marquette. We were at Syracuse. You overlap, recruiting a lot of the same guys. You know a lot of the same people, and more than anything, you're, like we just talked about again, you're going to the same events. So as you start to recruit certain guys, you see, well, Syracuse is recruiting him, so is Marquette. And then you start to see, well, oh, Jared McNamara's recruiting him, so is DK, you know. So I think through that process, we're all aware of what's going on in the industry. And I think there's this, like, a mutual appreciation for the work of how difficult it is to do certain things. And, you know, I have a great appreciation for people that work really hard at what they do. I know he does. We laugh about it. You know, I know it's UAlbany, it's a big thing, but it's really only one night a year that I don't hope they do well.
Sure.
His wife Anna's lovely. I mean, they're good people, and you know, it's been great for us to get to know them as a family. I always knew him my wife didn't know Anna and vice versa. So it's nice. We're rooting for them to have success. Just there's one night a year that I hope they don't.
Coach, we honor a lot of incredible people here for their efforts in the fight against cancer. I had asked Coach Jones, James Jones, about his effort and his commitment to it, but college basketball as a whole, to be a part of a movement that we'll say Jimmy V started way back when, that has morphed into this kind of monster. How proud does that make you to be part of a sport that embraces it like it does?
That's appropriate, monster. That's what it's become. It really, there's very few things that have evolved the way that this has. There's very few organizations that have been able to make such an impact on a certain particular thing. And what Coaches vs. Cancer has done for the ACS, I mean, it's top notch. I mean, it's got to be up there in terms of the best thing to ever happen in any of those scenarios. So just so proud to be a part of that community. I'm really, really blessed that I was exposed. Sorry, as I'm lighting up.
No, you're good. I like it.
I'm Swifty over here. But I was really lucky to be exposed to events like this by going to Syracuse, whether it be the Boys and Girls Club or the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Coaches vs. Cancer, to kind of carry that humanitarian, torch, so to speak, that Jim Boeheim set for me as a player. I hope to do the same thing for the kids that I coach. Just really, really proud to be amongst that fraternity.
Last thing, Coach, what were you told ahead of taking this head coaching job at Siena that you probably were like, yeah, okay, maybe. And then when you got into it, you're like, boy, that Boeheim knew what he was talking about. Or a different head coach told me, be aware of this as something different from being an assistant.
Yeah, I remember Coach. I'll try to do an impression of him. But I remember
that was pretty good.
We argued, not argued, but we, obviously you have conversations amongst your staff. It was after a game that we lost, and I remember something was said, and I kind of disagreed with it. He goes, "Hey, would you bet your job on it?" And now I kind of understand what I kind of get it now. I think the one thing of all the things, like I said it before in the off season here, like I felt like I was prepared for everything that came with the head coach in terms of building a culture, how I wanted to be in terms of how I treated guys, and how I wanted to run practice day to day. I think the one thing that no one could really prepare you for is the pressure in terms of not the outside forces, of what you internally do and what happens in your chest. You can't shut it off.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think, it's nice having friends in this industry that are also head coaches, because you can confide in them because they're going through the things that you're going through. That was probably the one thing of all the things that I just didn't really anticipate. Was like, man, I'm laying in bed and I'm like looking over, like, can't shut it off. And it was like 4 weeks after the season. Like, I'm like, so it's, it just comes with the business. And again, I'm really lucky to do what I do, and I'm lucky to have a lot of friends that I can call and ask for help.
I can't imagine the pressure. I got an angry email from a viewer this week who was calling me an idiot because I don't wear socks sometimes on the air. He really didn't appreciate that.
Oh, you go sockless.
I do a lot of times.
Or a no-show.
Yeah, or a no-show.
Sometimes they're no-shows.
Well, I got an angry email this year.
I'm sure you did.
For not wearing suits for my games.
There you go.
It was not polite. And it was funny. I was national championship night, and I was sitting there watching Houston and Florida, and I looked at Todd Golden, I looked at Kelvin Sampson,
right,
and they're in sweatsuits.
They were in casual
and I'm going to bet you Florida fans and Houston fans didn't care what their coaches were
whoever
wearing.
wins this
Just win.
game. Yes,
Just win.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Have
My
some
pleasure.
fun tonight.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Good to see you,
appreciate
Coach.
it.
Jerry
Thanks very much.
McNamara, of course, from Siena. Let's take a break here on Honorado and Miller. We're back in a minute.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime with Tracker fishing boats. Available at Alpenhaus. Feel the rush as you reel in your trophy catch, supported by Tracker's unmatched stability. Prepare to conquer any challenge with cutting-edge tech at your fingertips and the freedom to explore without limits. Make waves this season and experience the ultimate fishing adventure with Tracker fishing boats at Alpenhaus. Your source for fun since 1964.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Honorado and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, back here live at Coaches vs. Cancer, Albany Capital Center, year 20 for this event. And
Crazy.
year 5 for you at
Already?
Albany.
Time flies.
Good
Yeah.
for you, man. More than $3 million raised at this event. And obviously, if you are a Temple, Marquette, programs that also take part in CVC. What is it like to be the guy, though, of a program doing this event?
Well, I think, it's great for myself and for Jerry to be involved, but we're not the ones doing the heavy lifting.
Anna?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna
wives
say,
are always doing
how
the
much
heavy lifting.
does your wife do for
Yeah,
this?
but I think it's awesome to be a small piece in a big puzzle of a group of people that are doing some powerful work. And the greatest thing I kind of have for myself is you come in here and people are excited to see, people representing our program and seeing this program. But then, like, woven within the night is these amazing stories. And I think, those stories need the stage that we get, in a lot of ways. And I think that's what it's really about. It's a really cool night to be a part of.
Coach, I asked GMAC, when to go from Syracuse to a place like Siena, for you to go from Marquette to a place like Albany. We joke, small town, Smallbany, but how much is this event and the support that it gets kind of a microcosm of the support your programs get in a place like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at this event, you look at both programs, we always want more. But then you look at when you get inside of it, I mean, there's amazing people in this community. And I think the amazing thing about the people in the community, they care. They care about Albany basketball, they care about Siena basketball, they care about Coaches vs. Cancer. Last night we went to an event for the food bank. I mean, it's just people are pouring their heart out. They're opening their checkbooks up also to, stimulate whatever these programs need to impact, whether it's young people, people that are disadvantaged, people that are sick. I think that's a really special thing. And I always say to people are like, oh, it's kind of cool, the Albany Cup. And I'm like, no, the Albany Cup matters to us just as much as the Duke Carolina game does, just as much as Alabama Auburn. I mean, it matters to people that much. And I think that's, it's just a small example of how special this community is. And we say Smallbany, but I think it's a really intimate community that really cares about each other.
Ash has judged that chef's event before for the food bank, haven't you? Okay, so I want people you glossed over it, but I want people to make note of this. You're at Coaches vs. Cancer, which makes sense. You're a basketball coach, but you're doing other events like the food bank and people out there, well, okay, shaking hands and there are boosters and people that support the program and it's part of the job. But how much of that is part of who you are, wanting to be out in the community and going to these events that aren't covered by TV or not being interviewed at these things?
Yeah, it's not about that. It's about trying to dominate your small little corner of the world. We try to go back and support people. We ask people to support us every day. Jerry's is a much different space in Albany. You kind of have this built-in tradition, and we're trying to build it. And I think the way you build it is you build it by building relationships and letting people know that you care about them, you're going to support them. And all we ever ask is people come to games and cheer for kids that are chasing a dream. And I think it's, basketball, it rewards me and my family in a very special way. It's really important that we give back. And I think for me as a leader in the community, you should model certain things that you want to see reflected in the community that you're a part of. We're raising our kids and all those things. And like you said, it's Smallbany. So, these people now are friends, they're family. So they call, hey, can you come by? I'm on my way. Cool.
Coach, you guys do stuff all year long that maybe people don't see. I know, the news gets to some of it, but what are some of the things that your team in particular is passionate about, whether it's reading to students, the things you guys do throughout the year as a team to give back?
Yeah, we probably have like two big staples. It's a back to school event that we did a few weeks back, and we do a big Halloween event, which has been really cool because I live in Albany, so as you travel through, I mean, there's some spots where it's not super safe. And, we were like, hey, there's a way that maybe we can make a safe event on campus, on the downtown campus. And it's been awesome. It's probably 400 or 500 kids come every year. It's run by different student organizations. And then, the thing we started this past year, we started a summer league, which was awesome. Selfishly, we kind of did it because I was like, this is the easy way for me to watch my own kids, watch them play. But our guys refereed. And I thought it was a really cool way for them to kind of get to understand the community that they're now representing. And we try to do as much as we can, whenever anybody calls.
When was the last time you dressed up for Halloween?
Ooh, great question. 2 years ago. This year, we had a conversation about dressing up. It's all about what those two little kids.
Well, I was just going to say, it had to have been the kids driving
like a
the
family
force,
dress
right?
Up.
Yeah.
The favorite was some few years back, we were the Incredibles. That was
Yeah.
that was very good. That was a fun Halloween.
Now, you're still a dress-up guy on the sideline, or do you go casual sometimes? Post-COVID.
We are casual every game but the Albany Cup.
Okay.
And that's intentional. Somebody said to me once, they said, it's important sometimes you wear a suit because you're a leader in the community and you're one of the few African-American leaders here, and we need to see you a certain way. So we dress up for that one game. It's not something that I say a ton publicly, but I think it's a good image for us to have. And, it's a big stage for our program, for our school, for our institution.
And listen, basketball's fun. You should be able to dress down once in a while when you want to.
It's a lot more
It's fun.
comfortable now when you dress down. You put the suit on, you're like, it's like you're restrained.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck.
Won the cup last year, so the suit is working, and
Should stay in for now.
Yeah.
they'll play November 21st. U Albany and Siena. Have some fun tonight.
Yeah,
Man.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for the
it.
Thanks,
time.
Coach.
Thank you very
Good
much.
to see you.
Thanks a lot.
Dwayne Killings, the head coach at U Albany. All right, another timeout here on Honorado and Miller. We'll come back to the Capitol Center in a minute.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime with Tracker fishing boats. Available at Alpenhaus. Feel the rush as you reel in your trophy catch, supported by Tracker's unmatched stability. Prepare to conquer any challenge with cutting-edge tech at your fingertips and the freedom to explore without limits. Make waves this season and experience the ultimate fishing adventure with Tracker fishing boats at Alpenhaus. Your source for fun since 1964.
And now, back to Honorado and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
You don't have to.
Back at Coaches versus Cancer, and here with the MC, the voice of the night, Freddie Coleman from ESPN. You said year 15, Freddie.
15, yeah.
Man, we've talked on the radio so many times. I've seen you at this event a bunch. It's been a number of years, though, man. It's so good to see you. What do you do to keep the voice healthy?
Ooh,
Something special?
Boy.
Wait until you hear this.
Well, that's a really good question, because the one thing I tell people all the time, that if you drink a lot of water, that goes a long way. And some people in the old days, well, if you smoke a lot of cigarettes, you sound like that.
So
or
you
if you
feel
drink a
good,
lot of
yeah.
alcohol and liquor, you can sound like that. And what they didn't realize is that those kind of things would dry out your voice and take away. So I've been really, really blessed. This has absolutely nothing to do with me. Whoever decided the vocal gods to bless me with this, I don't question it, but I never abuse it. I never misuse it. So I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to have a voice that's been carried me throughout this time.
Freddie, we know, DK and GMAC are part of this every year, and before the coaches before that. But for you to make it special to come to Albany 15 of the 20 years, why? What is it about this event?
It's the area and the people. There's no doubt about that. I was really fortunate to have a chance to work in this area for about a year and a half. And those kind of relationships, Ashley and Chris, have been able to sustain me even long after I left working for Pix 106 and then working for the Fox Sports affiliate here in Albany back in 2003 and 2004. Having those kind of relationships mean the world to me. And the first year I remember doing this, I said, man, if I could do this another year, that'd be pretty cool. And so when they said, would you like to come back and do this? I clear my calendar all the time. So anytime I get a chance to come back here, it doesn't feel like it's a visit. It feels like home, because the people make this event and the people make this area what it is.
It's always such an emotional night here as well. And we're going to celebrate 20 years of this here in the Capital Region. What do you remember, not specific moments to put you on the spot, but just the mood of this evening and of that room that's just behind this black curtain behind us when you're here every year?
Two really stand out to me. When the McCaffreys came here and celebrating their son Patrick, and Fran McCaffrey being in that area and saying something to his wife and to his kids, and he got emotional. Everybody else got emotional as well. But one that's always going to jump out to me the most was when Marianne Donnelly, when she passed away. It seemed like literally minutes before everything got started. And her family still showed up on her behalf. And that's why we have an award named after her. And it's rightfully so named after her honor. And I'll never forget that they showed the video presentation and somebody gasped. And I said, it's okay to let out that kind of emotion because we all were feeling that emotion, and you shouldn't stifle that. Those are the two parts of this event that will always stand out to me: the emotion and the gratitude that we're going to continue this fight against cancer. We're not going to take a step back. We're not going to take a day off because we know cancer doesn't take a day off, and the battle should never take a day off. But those two moments will always stand out to me.
We're honoring Coach James Jones here tonight, and we had asked him, about the honor, but about the movement. And I said, a lot of people credit Jimmy V for starting that movement, but college basketball, from your perspective, what it has been able to do on the national stage with Coaches versus Cancer and the impact that it has had monetarily, but then also the effects that has. What is that like for you to see?
Ashley, if you had told me we would get to this point right now where somebody had an idea and contacted a friend that it would have taken root like this and then completely spread and have so many different branches of that tree where you don't think about Coaches versus Cancer without college basketball and vice versa. So to have somebody who had an idea in their head and didn't just sit on that idea, they knew, hey, I'm gonna put that out there and see what happens, because there's no harm in people saying no. That's all they can say. But so many people have continued to say yes and will continue to say yes. So it's been able to take on a life of its own. Those are the kind of things that make not only sports special, but make people in life special. It could have been very easy for whoever had that genesis of that idea to say, I don't think it's going to work. They didn't talk themselves out of it. And the fact that nobody else has been able to talk them out of it since, and it continues to be a big event, not just here in Albany in the Capital District, but everywhere else, we all can rally and enjoy that and say that we have a little small part, but it's a big part in the fight against cancer.
You've got a VIP event we've got to let you run to real quick, though. Jaxson Dart ready for this thing in New York?
Well, put it this way, if he's not ready for it, he better be. But he has all the confidence in the world. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, you can't put him out there that early. He hasn't had enough time. To bring some memory to people's memory, Russell Wilson started opening day as a rookie when people said he wasn't ready. That turned out pretty well for him with the Seattle Seahawks, where in a couple of years they won a Super Bowl. So Jaxson Dart has the confidence. The NFL game is not so much of a physical speed thing. It's more of a mental speed thing. Once he gets that down pat, he's going to be fine. There's going to be a lot of bumps and bruises. The Giants are not a good football team in terms of offensive. Their offensive line, the running game, Cascadable should be starting as well. So both of those rookies. But I think the foundation and the plan had to be expedited because they couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah, I think it's what the fans want.
Yes,
the fans want it.
Yes,
they want
the action for Jaxson.
They want to see. They want to see what's there.
No doubt about that.
My man, good to see you as always.
Good to see you, Freddie.
Great to see you guys.
Freddie Coleman, the incredible Freddie Coleman from ESPN, with us here on Honorado and Miller. We're back in a minute, live from Coaches versus Cancer.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Honorado and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Alpenhaus, Marcella's novice performance industrial.
I'm just moving us this way, so I don't feel like I have to lean so much.
Go right ahead. Nice run through.
Yeah, not bad.
Of coaches there, and
American Cancer Society
Freddie
for helping
Coleman.
us out.
Yeah. Yep, Lizzie Hunter, who's now running the show at ACS. Congrats to her on the promotion and her great team that Elena, Marissa, Amanda that put together this event every single year. That was good.
That was awesome
to run through a lot of that there and really highlight Coaches versus Cancer beyond the sports that we talk here on O&M. But speaking of, our last question to Freddie Coleman was the Giants are turning to Jaxson Dart, 0-3, and Wilson, despite the frenzied comeback in Dallas, has really struggled this year. And it was,
I mean, he was pretty good in that game.
He was. Overtime was not good.
Yeah.
Which, look, you're going to get the peaks and valleys with somebody like Russell Wilson, but as we saw at the end in Pittsburgh last year, more valleys. And to be honest with you, if this were year one for Brian Dable and Joe Shane, I don't know that they would go to Jaxson Dart week 4. But because the seat is so
Yeah,
hot,
you gotta figure out.
they
what you
have
got.
to try to show to ownership, John Mara specifically, hey, we have the right quarterback, and we are going to be able to show you that we can bring him along the way he needs to. This is about, they'll never say it, this is about saving their jobs, hoping that Jaxson Dart has immediate promise, whether or not they win games,
Right, it's not gonna
immediate
matter.
promise that Dable is the guy going forward.
Yeah, and I think, like we said, it's what the fans want. Even if it doesn't lead to wins, they want to see what Jaxson Dart has in the tank. What does he have in his arm strength? Will he throw it down the field? Is he mobile? You want to see
He's all that.
just glimpses of those wow moments. Again, they don't have to lead to wins. I don't believe that, but I just think you got to see some of it to get excited about the future and then build around it. But the risk you take is you don't have a very good offensive line. Like Freddie said, you're putting a young quarterback behind a subpar offensive line. You better hope for the best.
Yep. And I did hear somebody, the last thing John Mara wants is to have another home game where the fans are booing Ross or chanting, "We want Dart." So you give them, to ask your point, give them what they want, and they'll be satisfied for at least 1 week.
Bit.
Now you see bottom of your screen here,
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh is
Good luck.
4-0 against rookie quarterbacks. And for as much as he isn't necessarily a defensive guy, he's a high-level thinking coach.
Yeah.
So this won't be easy, but it is at home against a West Coast team coming east. We don't make a huge deal about that anymore these days, but still a 1 o'clock kick at the Meadowlands with the Chargers coming from LA. So we'll see. I like Jaxson Dart. He would be a great character for the New York media market.
Yeah, he's the perfect. He oozes confidence.
Yes.
He's got the swagger, like a
Got
little
an
bit
edge.
like DeVito had, even just for a backup quarterback, DeVito had it. But yeah, if he starts to get a taste, you can just see that thing snowballing. And for a guy like him, if he sees some early success, I think as that confidence builds, look out. You get him some weapons.
Yeah.
You never know.
Last week we asked what was more surprising, the 2-0 Colts or the 0-2 Chiefs. Chiefs get a win.
Yep.
Colts still haven't lost. And the Texans in that division, the AFC South, still haven't won.
Yeah.
What's more surprising?
It's a tough one for me. I went Colts last week, and I feel like I still have to go Colts because if it's not as surprising from last week to this week. That's not that surprising. I think I would say it's more surprising that the Texans are 0-3 this week than that the Colts are 3-0 this week. But overall, if you had said in the offseason what's more surprising, I think I would have said the Colts 3-0 because it was you didn't know who the quarterback was. Oh, Daniel Jones, who, we drove out of town and we're happy to see him go. It's still surprising to me, but the Colts have been fun.
Yep.
They're a fun team.
Yep. And this is the matchup on Sunday is Indy. No, I'm sorry. It's Tennessee at Houston.
Yeah. That should be. I will be surprised if if the Texans are 0-4. They should not be 0-4.
Yes.
If they're 0-4,
Yeah.
we got problems.
Yep. I didn't pick Houston in the survivor pool, but I was very close to picking them. It feels like
Forget who I picked.
the right side, but you've got a Detroit team at home against Cleveland, and you got a Buffalo team at home against New Orleans. Those should be, if you haven't already used your teams out there in the survivor pool world, those are the teams, Detroit and Buffalo, that I think will be the heavy picks.
I try not to pick the heavy favorites. I've been trying to use ones that are I can get through. Oh, I went Broncos this week. Broncos against the Bengals, right?
Broncos against the Bengals, Monday night.
Jake Browning, a Broncos team that wants a win. I'm trying to just squeak my way through week by week. Last week I went with the Colts. I've done the Jags. So I haven't used any real
that's pretty good.
real barn burners. We'll see if I survive.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also Sunday, this is Sunday night. Green Bay goes to Dallas.
This will be fun.
4 weeks into the season, and Micah Parsons makes his return. Do you think they'll boo him, or
they'll boo him?
Is the fan base's displeasure aimed at Jerry, not Micah?
Yeah, I think it's true that the fan base's displeasure is aimed at Jerry. I still think they'll boo him. because
Okay.
it's Dallas. They're going to boo him. It's the other team.
Yeah.
He plays for Green Bay now.
He said he hopes his tribute will be.
Jerry said no tribute, didn't he?
Right. Micah said he hopes his tribute will be a win
Oh,
over
got
the
it.
Cowboys.
Got it.
So, okay. I'm going to just give us a
Round
little
the
bit
horn?
of love here. Yeah. Jay, I'm so glad Jay has found us alive.
Yeah.
He said oftentimes he might catch us on TV a little bit, but yeah, we're mobile, Jay.
Hopefully you can hear us all right.
Correct.
I worried a little bit about the
With
microphone
one mic,
situation.
yeah, I don't know. But yes, correct. Hopefully you can hear us okay. We know you can see us.
Sam's
Sam
still in
is in
Alaska.
Alaska. He sent me an incredible picture on Twitter
Ooh.
that we will use on the third hour of News Channel 13 today in a little segment we like to call Did You See This?
No love for my mom, huh?
Oh, did I miss one?
You missed. You
Okay.
missed my mom.
Of course, nobody saw it because it's just on my Twitter. And yeah, your mom. Okay. Yeah.
Santa Fe. We are spanning the country.
Alaska, Santa Fe,
Not bad.
Capital Center. I did a night in Santa Fe. It was lovely on a cross-country trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
parents loved Utah. All
Yeah.
about Utah.
Couldn't say I spent a lot of time in Utah, but maybe one day. Hottest coaching seat in the NFL is Mike McDaniel in Miami, Brian Daboll with the Giants, or a so far underwhelming Atlanta team and Raheem Morris.
For all my money, it's Mike McDaniel.
No doubt.
Everybody knew Brian Daboll's seat was going to be hot. Everybody knew they were going to struggle. Everybody knew they were going to have to turn to Jaxson Dart to try to save his job. I don't know that anyone thought Atlanta was going to be all that good. Michael Penix is still young. It's only his second, not even full season as a starting quarterback.
Yep.
The fall from grace that has happened in Miami
Yeah.
has been like,
Crazy.
monumental.
Yeah.
They're not good. They're really bad. And he might get fired midseason.
Yes. Yeah, he might get fired midseason. They might trade Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
I said to our buddy Mark Mulholland at the TV station, the hope would have been that if things didn't go well in Miami and they did fire McDaniel, that Anthony Weaver would get the interim gig. But that defense has been so bad, and that is not just coaching. There's not a lot of talent on that side of the ball. So it's just not working on offense or defense for the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they're not the worst team in football, but they're
a bottom feeder.
They're
bottom five.
They are not good. Bad news here. Oklahoma quarterback, Heisman favorite at the time, John Mateer, is going to miss a month, broken hand, and it's not an easy stretch. He will miss games against
right?
surgery.
Yeah.
Correct. He'll miss. They don't call it the Red River rivalry anymore, do they? But he'll
I don't
miss
know.
the
I
game
thought they
against Texas. Oklahoma just got a huge win last weekend, and now they're going to go without their quarterback, who's been an absolute game changer for Brent Venables and company. It's too bad because it has been
you
fun
wanna
watching
see that.
him.
Yeah, you kind of wanted to see that play out with the team that they currently have, because they're actually playing defense finally. For the first couple years of Brent Venables, there was no defense being played, and he was a defensive guy. Now you've got defense and you're playing offense, and it's like an explosive, Mateer has kind of an explosive, he adds that explosiveness to that offense. It's kind of sad. But
and the
we'll
next
see.
month they've got Texas. I believe they have Alabama in that stretch as well. Of course, they play in the SEC.
Well, good thing
It's
neither
tough.
of those teams are like gangbusters.
Yep. We'll get Bama and Georgia this weekend, and we'll run down this weekend's games here in a moment. But you see the face Ash is making. Steve Angeli out for the year. Ricky Collins going to take over. Now, there was a quarterback competition before week one, right? So it wasn't like Angeli transferred from Notre Dame and was immediately anointed the starting quarterback. There was a competition, and it was close. It took Fran Brown a while to name his starting quarterback. So there should be some hope, right, for Syracuse fans that even though Angeli's done, Collins was a close second.
Yeah, and I believe Collins was a backup at LSU. So I've said to you for the since McCord, which is only a year ago, I've said to you, I will take everyone's Division I backup, like major Division I backup. I'll take him. And Kyle McCord was not a Division I backup.
Starter.
He was Ohio State starter. So a little bit different, but Angeli was in the mix as Notre Dame starting quarterback. These are guys who have been recruited to play at the highest levels of college football. I'll take your backup that you don't want and give him a shot at Syracuse. And maybe it'll work out like Steve Angeli, which it's, again, just disappointing. if this doesn't go the way, like if Ricky Collins comes in and things just fall apart, it'll kind of be one of those like what could have been, what would have been. Luckily, Duke isn't that great of a team. They have a good quarterback, but that's a winnable game for a backup quarterback to come in. So I'm glad that that's the space he's coming in, not like Miami or Notre Dame or, we're not playing one of those teams. It's a winnable game, so we'll see how it goes.
And Vegas will tell you pretty much all you need to know here. Syracuse is at home against Duke, and they are a 1.5 underdog. Okay. So it's the uncertainty of what Collins will be here. Huge win at Clemson last weekend. Syracuse is 3-1, correct? Ready to crack that top 25. I would think if they're able to win impressively over Duke here a little bit.
Impressively,
maybe the ACC is better than we all kind of thought. Carol is checking in as well. We move our times and days
all over the place.
And so we appreciate all you guys finding us as often as you do. Here are the games. This is a huge Saturday. Friday night is TCU, Arizona State. 3-0 Horned Frogs, 3-1 Sun Devils.
Guess where I'll be?
High school football game.
Shaker, Saratoga.
Guess where I'll be?
On the couch.
On the couch watching.
Yeah.
Yep, no doubt about it. And then noon, USC, Illinois. We're under 3:30. LSU at Ole Miss, a really good one. Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating an LSU player.
Did you see that?
That
so
makes
good.
it a lot of fun.
So good. The social media fodder for that is just so good.
Auburn and A&M. Ohio State at a 3-0 Washington team. I don't know that game is close, but it's interesting the way the Huskies have started the year. And then the 2 night games.
Yeah.
Bama and Georgia, Oregon and Penn State.
I'm all in on Oregon, Penn State. All in. I don't know. Roger Ryland, close your ears. I hope Oregon blows the doors off of Penn State because I'm not sold on Penn State, and I think Oregon is as good as it gets.
Yeah, Oregon's really good. That'll be a whiteout, I believe, Saturday night in Happy Valley. Those 2 games, I mean, you set up the 2 TVs and you go. You don't have to split any screens, 1 on each, and you are good for the night. I cannot wait for Saturday night's games, and if I catch some during
take a nap after golf.
If I catch some during the day, I'll take it. We've taken some commercials. Let's just keep running here on Honorado and Miller. And of course, before we get to baseball, we've got other big events happening this weekend.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
And Performance Industrial, a big supporter here of Coaches versus Cancer. We are at the Albany Capitol Center, year 20 for CVC. All right, this is going to be difficult for the U.S. to win the Ryder Cup on its home soil. Now, betting odds are in the Americans' favor, but I'm not buying that. I think Vegas just feels like the majority of the money is going to come in on the U.S., so let's not make it plus money. We might lose our shirts on that. It's minus money. But the Europeans have the better team start to finish. Basically the same team they ran out there for the last Ryder Cup and dominated. Now, the U.S. has won the last 5 Ryder Cups played in America. So we've got that going for us. But Bethpage Black is a brutally difficult course. And when you look at the roster here that Keegan Bradley, the captain, has put together, it's not his fault. He's picked, in a lot of ways, the best American golfers. They just aren't guys that are household names and that you maybe trust in a really big spot after, say, Scotty Scheffler. Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler and then crickets. Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. And then you look at the European side and you know, I mean, I don't, do you trust a Bryson DeChambeau for the U.S.? Maybe. But the Bryson Rory stuff is really going to drum up as this cup starts. Now we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Think about Sunday. A football game in the NFL in Ireland, 9:30 kick.
We got brunch. We're going to do brunch and football?
Oh, I thought you were telling.
No, we don't have to go to brunch. No.
My God.
We just do brunch at home.
Ooh, that was close.
Brunch at home.
We'll be on at 6:30. I know you're kind of busy at the time.
Yeah.
So you're aware.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
That was Amanda offering us a little something to eat or drink if we need to in 10 minutes when we're done here. That was perfect. 9:30 kick in Ireland. Ryder Cup, and then football all day with the Packers and Cowboys playing at 8:20 Sunday night.
You better strap in or get a good nap in, actually. So
when am I going to do that?
I don't know. Maybe after Ireland football, quick snooze before 1 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah.
If the games aren't great at 4, quick snooze before night game.
That could happen.
Yeah.
That could happen. Anyway, I mean, the Ryder Cup is one of my favorite sporting events out there. It's just the intensity of the rivalry, and of course the patriotism. The chants of USA will be crazy. I saw a video pop up on Twitter earlier today, back when the Ryder Cup, I think, was last in America. Fans threw beers out onto the tee box, and Justin Thomas, and I forget who the other guy was, may have been Xander,
chugging,
shotgunned him.
Love it.
We're playing
what
golf
gets better
here.
than that?
Playing
It's like the
golf
Waste
here,
Management
guys.
Open
This
in
is,
Phoenix.
This is like Happy Gilmore 3.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge on Wednesday night. Now, by the time you see this show on Saturday or Sunday,
53?
who knows? Who knows,
Yeah.
right? We are towards the end of the Major League Baseball season. Sunday's
And
the
it's getting,
last
like,
day, and it's exciting.
It's getting good.
Judge is now one of 4 guys to have
Ever.
4 seasons of 50 or more home runs. And I would argue he's one of 2 guys to really do it. Because you see the names here: Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. McGwire and Sosa both guilty of steroid use during those 50 home run seasons. We know the Babe wasn't taking roids, and we're pretty darn sure Aaron Judge isn't
He's
here.
just a big dude.
You've got 2 guys here that have done this, and Judge is so young, Ash, 33, I think, that to have another one in him, I would say is very likely, not just a possibility.
Yeah, I would say it's very likely as well. At least 1, maybe 2.
How about this guy, though? The American
He's your
League
MVP.
record, he is, hands down. It's not even close for me. It's close. I think the vote will be close. But if somebody asked me, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it, is what I mean in terms of it not being close. It's Cal Raleigh. The Mariners won the AL West, and I would bet at the beginning of the year, the Astros and the Rangers were favored ahead of the Mariners to win this division.
There was a lot of question marks about the Astros, it felt like, in the offseason.
Still had pitching coming in.
Bregman.
I know, but Alvarez just hasn't had a healthy year, but you still had the pitching in Hunter Brown as a young guy, but Framber Valdez, Christian Vasquez. It feels like, that these guys were the favorites to win the division, I would say, along with Texas. And then you have Seattle. Seattle's won the division for the first time since 2001.
Awesome.
And Cal Raleigh plays catcher, and a really good defensive catcher at that. And he's got 60 home runs. If he gets to 62, which is Judge's record, or 63, and he doesn't win MVP, we're doing this wrong, people.
No, I get it.
We're doing this wrong. I know we've got our football picks here still to come. Paul Skeens, 10-10. He has made his final start of the regular season. Look at what he's done here. He will become the first starter with a non-winning record to win the Cy Young, and he'll have the fewest number of wins by a starter
10.
To win the award. Jacob deGrom had 10. I think deGrom went 10-9.
He got no support. Remember that year? It was like
Crazy.
every time out, the Mets scored 1 run.
Yep. You want to talk about no support? Look at the ERA here for Skeens. Sub-2. 1.97.
That's incredible.
He's 23 years old. The only guy younger than Skeens as a starter to have a sub-2 ERA, Dwight Gooden, in his magical 85 season. He was 20 years old, a 1.53 ERA. Of course, they won the World Series the next year. Skeens, God bless him, is just
get out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and he can't, and that's the problem, But there's been so much
That
talk
happens.
that, like, hey, if you're Pittsburgh, maybe trade him, because this is an opportunity for you to really kind of rebuild the franchise in a way. He will win Cy Young. He deserves Cy Young. He had a great year last year. He just didn't have enough innings to qualify for some of the things that go along with those marks that we just mentioned. All right, Ash, let's get to our games here. 4 minutes to go. These were the games we picked last week.
Woof.
We were similar, not the same, but similar.
Mm-hmm.
We were the same in terms of record. 2-4, 2-4. We are 7-11.
We're hovering near 500. We're just a one decent week away from back to 500.
we need a couple of weeks here to get right. Let's start with the Giants and the Chargers here. We're both hoping for the Jaxson Dart bump.
Yeah, a Jackson Magic to stay closer than a touchdown. This one was a tough one for me because a touchdown is not that much in football, especially for a bad Giants team and a pretty good Chargers team. But yeah, hoping for some Jackson Magic.
Same. I'm just going to bank on a little Dart bump here for the Giants, not to win necessarily, but to Ash's point, to keep it closer than a touchdown. There's going to be a lot of energy in that building. I
hated this. I know. I
couldn't
hated
do
it. I hated it so much.
But think about it.
But the Saints are so bad.
Correct. If the Bills score 35 points, they should win by 17.
Should.
Because they shouldn't give up more than 17 points to this New Orleans Saints team.
Yeah. If they score 35, 35's a lot.
Maybe not for this Buffalo team.
Maybe not.
31-13 could be a final score you see here. Anyway, I
hated it,
bring myself
but I did
to
it.
do
I
it.
hated it, but I did it.
I can rationalize the Bills covering this number. I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. 4 weeks into a season, 16 and a half. Now this one I don't feel good about this.
Hard.
Yeah, I don't feel good about this one. They blew the cover last week against the Jets. Now they're at home. No Mike Evans. And Philly just finds a way. I'm not impressed by the way Philly is playing, but they just find a way. Home dog, Tampa.
Home dog, Tampa. Yeah,
3.5.
They're a home dog. It
Yeah.
looks like the Eagles are favored.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I couldn't read it. Yeah,
I'd never put a plus in there for you.
Why I love to ride the Bucks. I just, you know me, I love a little Baker magic.
You do.
But yeah, I was trying to be a little different this week because I felt like our picks have been so close and we don't talk about them.
Right.
One of us makes picks before the other, so you could see it. But I did mine first, and I tried to just kind of think a little bit more risky this week outside the box.
Yeah, I don't think either of our picks influences the other. We're going to pick what we think is going to happen here, right?
Well, but sometimes if I need to make up ground, then I'm like, all right, I see you, and I'm just going to pick the other one.
Baltimore loses at home on Monday night to the Lions. We both had picked Baltimore to cover in that game. Now we're both picking Baltimore to cover at Kansas City. Chiefs are not great.
No, but I think the Ravens are a better team.
They are. There's no doubt.
And I think they're just going to be pissed and motivated. And you lose to a division rival in the Lions. I think they feel like they're going to feel like they need a win. Not that the Chiefs don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and that changes the talk about you when no matter what the record of the Chiefs is, when you go into Arrowhead, if you can come out with a win, that changes the talk.
Both these teams are 1-2.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming at the beginning of the year? Ravens were my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl.
Woo!
Packers at the Cowboys here Sunday night. I'm nervous about the outcome of this game. Forget about Green Bay covering the number. They
After
had
last
such
week,
a dud at Cleveland.
There has to be a wake up.
And maybe, look, 2 weeks in, you shouldn't be reading the headlines and buying into yourself too much. But clearly Green Bay was. We both like them to cover the touchdown here.
Quick
Here
recap.
are our picks for this week on Honorado and Miller. We need a good week. We hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us on Honorado and Miller, live from Coaches versus Cancer.